how to start the desktop publishing unit for those of you who have chosen that for this course. I'm going to start off by just briefly talking about what desktop publishing is, because for those of you who chose that unit, I understand you want to explore the idea of desktop publishing and it may lead you into a career path, etc. Just a quick sort of descriptor. Desktop publishing implies you have some kind of a desktop situation at home or at the office where you use a computer with software, probably a printer, maybe advanced printers or high quality printers, etc., where you're using your desktop, you're working within a space for whatever reason that you have and using that to do publishing. So desktop publishing, meaning you publish stuff off your desktop at a smaller scale. Now, what are you publishing? Well, you can publish anything. I had a screen here somewhere. You could be desktop publishing newsletters. You could desktop publish flyers. You might desktop publish stickers that go on CDs. You might do newspapers, you might do online web content, you might do screenshots or different things for apps, you might make posters, resumes, you name it. Desktop publishing implies more of a personal, small scale, small business kind of publishing. A popular software to do desktop publishing work is the classic Photoshop. And we've all heard that name, you see a picture on the internet or something, oh, that's been Photoshopped. Well, Photoshop we have in the school license, and I'm going to show you just quickly what it looks like. If I pick new, I get a template up and I'm going over here to print. I'm not going to make photos just yet or illustrations, art, or web page stuff, app stuff, film and video. I'm just going for simple print, and that's what we're going to start on. And let's say I do a letter size poster or something, whatever you want, doesn't matter. And I hit create. When it pops up, there's my size of paper. And then I get all these menu tools flying around, and this is where the classic Photoshop look comes from, where you have menus galore, and it's a lot in there. And then there's menus over here to choose. You can edit different things on what you're drawing, etc., etc. So this is Photoshop. When you've heard of it a million times, maybe out in the media or in the real life world, it is a software that is basically designed to do photo type work. Take a picture in, change colors, make people look younger, or change their eye colors, all that kind of stuff. Um, we're not using Photoshop because it's a resource hog on if you don't have a good computer at home, etc., and it's an expensive software. If you want a software that's similar to Photoshop, I have used this one and I've downloaded it at home. When you install it, it will come up and look very similar to Photoshop. You'll see the menus up the side, so it's across the top, a bunch of controls on the right side with the drawing area in the middle. So it's available if you're interested. It's a free download. It's okay, but it also, like Photoshop, hogs up memory. The one I want you guys to try to use, and it's new for me too, but it's called PhotoPea, and it's an online photo editor. The problem with it, in the sense, is because it's online and it's free, it's based with advertising. So you're going to have these little pop-up ads popping around, but it doesn't seem too annoying. I'm using it, I'm learning it, and I want you to give it a try. So you're looking for this PhotoPea online photo editor to give it a try. I've already got it going here for myself, and you'll see on the right here, there's some of the ads. But look along the side. Gee, that looks like Photoshop. Bunch of tools, stuff across the top and down the side, except for the ads sticking out there. I already made just a little design, but I want to start by making a new one and give you some sense of how to do it and line you up for your first assignment. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click New. So once you have PhotoPea launched and going on your computer, you're going to come in and make something And if you go new project, I can't remember how the first menu popped up, but you'll figure it out. You'll get this new project. Then you have all these templates that you can pick. Right here, start here. Under name for your project, give it something. I'm going to put it to 2 because I already made the first one. Make sure you're drawing in inches, not because it's the best, but because I'm familiar with inches and it's common to use inches in industry, etc. I know some people are more with the metric and pixels, etc., but I'm going to suggest you stick with inches. Um, Down here, again, like the original Photoshop software, you can pick different types of projects you want to do. For now, I want you to do a print one. We're not doing anything else. There's other options. And if you're interested, you can poke around in there. But I'm going to go with print. And because we use 8.5 by 11, that common printer size for paper, to start first project, I'm going to go there. There are different templates here. You can use them. Yeah, knock yourself out if that's what you're into. The one thing I'm going to do a little different for this demo, I'm going to click right here and I'm going to switch it to landscape. I'm not going to pick some of these templates. I'm going to start with my own. And once I've picked my name, my size, in print, and landscape. Oh, one more thing. There's a background. I usually stick with the white. I don't think it really matters for the software, and I'll show you in a minute why it doesn't. And then you hit create. Boom. There's my 8.5 by 11 white background already there. First important concept when using these kinds of software is called layering. Over here, there are layers. And to help understand that, I want you to picture this as a bunch of clear plastic sheets stacked up on top of each other. Right now, I only have one layer, the background layer. Down here, I'm going to add one. I'm going to add maybe 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. So now I have these different layers. So I have 4 sheets of clear plastic stacked up on top of each other. If you want to imagine it that way, it's not really what's going on, but yeah, you can picture it that way. So on my first layer right here, I want to draw something. And I'm going to start really simple. Over here, if you right click on this, you can see the different shapes that we're going to draw. So real simple. Pick a rectangle, and I'm going to do it just a bit bigger than the sheet. I'm going to drag the whole sheet and cover it up in a rectangle. And then it does it in green because that was the color I had. When I'm picking the rectangle tool, like any of these tools, you pick the tool you're working with, and all of the properties show up across the top. So, like a lot of software, you can poke around. I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining it all, but I'm going to go in here and say, oh, I don't want that color. Oh, I don't want that color. Oh, I want that color. So you can pick some of the default colors or the frequently used ones, or however this works. I'm not 100% sure. You can do gradients and patterns and different things. Or you can click in here on that bigger square and say, what, I'm going to nudge it a bit to a different color that I want. Something, say, like that. It doesn't matter. You can play with it. And then you click OK. So on layer 1, I have a rectangle bigger than the whole sheet, and I'm going to show this little thing. It's called, I guess it's an eyeball. Watch. Like different softwares, I can make that layer visible or invisible. So I can turn off the other layers, and when I turn the background layer off, everything's invisible, nothing's showing. So why do I see this checkerboard pattern? Well, it's kind of the software idea that we don't want to show the screen blank because people will say, where is everything? If you make everything invisible, they kind of leave the checkerboard to remind you, okay, everything's off. So when you see checkerboard, just think everything's gone. Everything's invisible, but it's not really gone because I can turn the background back on, white background like we did. I can turn my layer back on. I can turn these ones back on, but I don't have anything on them yet. So I'm going to leave them on, but I'm going to switch to this layer. I want to work in this layer. I'm going to go back to my rectangle tool, and this time I'm going to do something else, but just a little bit of a subtle thing. I'm going to go in here, change that. I'm going to send it a little bit of a softer tone. And there it is. Again, if I don't want to see it, I can turn them off. I can turn them on. This is a very common and very important technique when you're using this kind of software, this idea of layers. Yes, you don't have to put 3, 4, 5, 10 layers in, but it's a good practice. On each layer, you draw in some feature, whether it's a background or a layup, a rectangle, an ellipse, a circle, some text, whatever you want in each layer. You could put one layer and draw everything, do everything on one layer. But if you screw something up, eh, you've got to mess up or you could lose all your work because of that one layer. The beauty of this is if you put one feature, on one layer, you can put it in, and if you don't like it, you can just go down here and hit delete and get rid of that layer without losing work you did on that layer or that layer, etc., etc. So in the first assignment, I'm going to expect you to have um, multiple layers for each of the different features and get into that habit. You don't have to accept the default layer. You can change it to something, background color, I guess I can call it. So I can say I'm going to do that. Um, you can go in here, I believe, and lock it. So once I set my background color and hit the lock, you won't change it. You can't delete it easily. I mean, you can unlock it, I guess, but once you lock it, that prevents going in. If you make a nice feature or something, you say, I'm going to keep that. I don't want to lose that. You lock it, and then nobody's going to be able to get rid of it. I can still turn it on and off, but it won't be able to delete, etc. I'm going to do one more thing, and then I'll let you go. On layer 3, and this is where I'm thinking I'm using the software wrong, I want to put my name here. So I'm on layer 3. I go to my text tool. I'm not doing rectangles now. And I go in here and I put in my text tool. And then for some reason, it puts another layer calling it text. I got the size wrong. I'm going to just do hello. Now, up here, I can pick different fonts. I can pick different styles, and I can pick different sizes. But I have to be careful here. If I highlight my fonts, then I can shrink them down. And the first time I was using the software, I think it defaulted at 24 or something. And I'm typing, where's my font? Where's my font? It was so small, that's why I couldn't see it. And for some reason, the slider here only goes to 150. I haven't explored, but somewhere in the setup or in the options, maybe I can increase it. So I just went in here and just, I want big, man. 500, baby. I can go even bigger if I want, 600, and go whatever. I'm not going with the green theme here. I'm going with my pink theme. So I'm going to click in here and maybe I will punch it out kind of dark and click OK. And I'm also noticing a little different than Photoshop. I think it has this sort of confirm. Is that what you want to do? Yeah. Okay. Boom. There it is. Okay. And back over here. Oh, maybe I don't want to see that right now, or I am going to see that right now. Okay. Now I have a layer 3 that's empty, so I'm just going to go onto layer 3 and hit delete, and boom, it's gone. I can change the names again. I'm still not understanding why text has to have its own layer, but that's okay. I'm going to lock my text in so you can't mess with it. Oh, I was just going to adjust it. Sorry, I wanted to, yeah, if you want to move things around, you need your pointer back. And then I'm going to put it, say, right about here. There's probably some centering tools or something here that I can do. Yeah, so you can play with those tools as well while you're using it. And then I click off, and oh, Chris, yeah, okay. Oh, I said, okay, there it goes. Yeah. Click off. Why is it still got the bars on it? Where's my, okay, I'm doing something there. I'm still not 100% good with this software. But I'm going to stop there. Quick review. You're going in to find this software called PhotoPea. You are going to start a new project and make it landscape or portrait, doesn't matter to me, but it's a print project, 8.5 by 11. You are going to have multiple layers in there. I want you to come up with a general theme like I've done. Um, where am I? Sorry, I'm mixing up here. I think, yeah, I don't know why I still have the handles on here. Maybe. Okay. Oh, because I have the selection tool. Now I get it. Okay. Look at what I've drawn. This is an important lesson in desktop publishing. It's called so- composition, I guess. Everything I put on that screen is the same color tones, the same hues. I didn't go in to say this layer and I go pick that, oops, pick that box on that layer, and I can go in and change that color on it if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I could change that color to something like that. And then I say, okay, well, oops, I messed something up. But look at the colors now. I had everything in the hues of pink. And now I've got that sharp contrasting blue. And it looks awful. I'm going to delete that layer. I don't know how I did that. But I changed that color to blue. And this is an important lesson in desktop publishing. Don't mix up your shades, don't mix up your colors. I know sometimes there are rules to break, but for this one, for this first assignment, I want you to pick something simple, learn the basic tools, come up with a color tone or a sort of a shade. I don't care what it is, but stick in the same color tones and make sure that you get your project at just a basic level and get used to this software. The one thing I'm still trying to make sure I understand is when you're done, you want to save your project. And if you save it, it's going to save it as a PSD, which I believe is short form for a Photoshop design, I think. I'm not sure. And then when you come back into PhotoPea, you can load that back in. It will save it on your computer somewhere in your downloads or your documents folder. I'm not sure what the setting is. Okay, I stopped talking. That's enough. Give it a try. And I want this assignment handed in. Just a basic completion, okay, for a formative assignment, I guess. Good luck. Ask questions if you need to. Bye.